Good day, everyone. Today we are diving into a fundamental concept of economics and law taxation. Whether you are an individual, a business, or a government, taxes affect everyone in one way or another. In this lecture, we will explore the different types of taxes, how they work, and why they are essential for the functioning of any modern society. By the end of this lecture, you will understand what taxes are, why governments rely on them, and how they are structured in different parts of the world. Let's get started. What is taxation? At its core, taxation is the process through which governments collect revenue from individuals and businesses. This money is then used to fund public services such as healthcare, education, transportation, and national defense. Taxes can be viewed as a way for the government to collect the necessary resources for the development of a society. Every time you pay a bill, purchase goods, or receive an income, part of that amount goes towards taxes. It's a legal obligation and it plays a significant role in the functioning of the economy. Let's look at taxation as the government's primary tool for redistributing wealth, building infrastructure, and ensuring the welfare of its citizens. Types of taxes. There are two main types of taxes: direct taxes and indirect taxes. What is direct tax? These taxes are paid directly to the government. They are typically based on income, wealth, or profits. Examples include income tax, tax paid on an individual's earnings; corporate tax, tax paid on the profits of a corporation; capital gains tax, tax on the profit from the sale of an asset like real estate or stocks; wealth tax, tax on the net wealth of an individual. Now, what is indirect tax? These are taxes that are not paid directly to the government, but rather as part of the price of goods and services. Examples include sales tax, added to the sale of goods; VAT, value added tax, applied at each stage of production or distribution; GST, goods and services tax, a broad based consumption tax applied to the sale of goods and services. The key difference is that with direct taxes you pay the government directly, whereas indirect taxes are passed through businesses, ultimately affecting consumers. Why does the government need taxes? Let's discuss why taxation is necessary. Why do governments impose taxes? The answer is straightforward. Taxes are the lifeblood of any country. Without taxes, a government cannot function properly. Here are a few primary reasons why taxation is so crucial. Funding public goods and services. Taxes finance the public infrastructure we rely on, such as roads, schools, and hospitals. Without taxes, it would be impossible to fund these services. Social welfare. Governments use tax revenue to provide welfare programs such as unemployment, benefits, pensions, and healthcare services for the elderly and disabled. Economic stability. Taxes help regulate the economy by controlling inflation and redistributing wealth to prevent disparities. National security. A large portion of taxes is allocated to defense, law enforcement, and national security. So, the next time you pay taxes, remember it goes towards building a safer, fairer, and more prosperous society. How taxes are collected? Now that we understand why we have taxes, let's talk about how they are collected. The government collects taxes in a variety of ways. Income tax is typically deducted directly from your paycheck by your employer, and this is called withholding tax. Sales tax and GST are added at the point of sale when you purchase goods and services. Businesses also play a role in tax collection by acting as intermediaries, collecting taxes on behalf of the government. For example, every time you buy a product, whether it's a coffee or a new smartphone, the tax is included in the price you pay. The business then sends that tax to the government. In essence, taxes are not something we pay once in a year in a lump sum. They are continuously collected throughout the year in various forms. Consequences of tax evasion. It's important to remember that taxes are a legal obligation, and failing to pay taxes can have severe consequences. There are two major types of violations when it comes to taxes. Tax avoidance. Legal practices used to minimize tax liability, such as tax deductions and credits. Tax evasion. Illegal practices that involve deliberately avoiding paying taxes. Let me give you an example. A tax evader might falsify documents, underreport income, or overstate expenses to avoid paying taxes. Governments around the world have strong measures in place to catch tax evasion, including fines and penalties for those caught avoiding taxes. In extreme cases, prison sentences for individuals or businesses caught evading taxes. Take the case of A.I. Capone, the infamous gangster. He was eventually convicted for tax evasion, not his other criminal activities. This shows just how seriously tax evasion is taken by governments. Taxation systems around the world. Countries differ widely in their approach to taxation. Let's briefly look at a few examples. The United States has a progressive tax system, meaning the more you earn, the higher percentage of your income you pay in taxes. The UK also have a progressive tax system, but it includes additional taxes like the national insurance. Sweden has some of the highest taxes in the world, around 50%, but in return, citizens receive universal health care, free education, and other social benefits. Singapore has relatively low taxes and focuses on attracting foreign investment, making it a business friendly environment. While each country's system varies, the underlying principle remains the same. Taxes are essential for government functioning and societal development. In conclusion, taxation is more than just an obligation. It is an investment in the future of a nation, enabling governments to provide services that benefit everyone. Thank you for joining me today. If you found this lecture informative, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Lizard World for more legal insights. See you in the next lecture. Thank you.